Although Gong Xiu didn't desire the position of sword wielder, he decided to use it to uncover the truth behind his father and brother's deaths. After learning that Ming Wuji was the last person to see his father, Gong Xiu went to inquire under the pretense of greeting her. Ming Wuji said that the night before, she was in the study warming tea for Gong Hongyu and his son. Then someone brought in a captured Wufeng assassin. She stepped out to avoid the situation and later saw the three inside fighting. Soon after, the lights went out. She called for the guards, but no one responded. Upon entering, she discovered all three were dead. Gong Xiu then went to verify this with the guards and learned that it was his brother who had brought the Wufeng assassin to see their father. He suspected the female assassin was hiding something and went to search her belongings. He found residual poison on her hairpin, but didn't believe she had the capability to kill both his father and brother. Jin Fan then informed him about the poisoning of Miss Jiang and Yun Weishan. Gong Xiu found it suspicious and went to investigate the women's quarters. Yun Weishan and Shang Wanqian, in this environment, had formed a kind of unspoken alliance. They had to help each other. Shang Wanqian learned from Yun Weishan about the deaths of the sword wielder and the young master, and initially suspected Yun Weishan. But Yun Weishan knew her concern was not for her own safety, but for fear of implicating her. Shang Wanqian straightforwardly ordered Yun Weishan not to act recklessly. Last time, her poisoning of Miss Jiang had nearly disrupted her plan. She ordered her to immediately wash off the Kuden poison from her hands to avoid detection. Gong Xiu examined Miss Jiang's condition and learned from the physician that the poison affecting her was unrelated to that which killed his father and brother. He intended to question Yun Weishan, but on the way, he happened to see someone floating lanterns on the river, which aroused his suspicion. He and Jin Fan split up to find the person responsible. Gong Xiu eventually discovered Yun Weishan and engaged in a fight with her. Both Shang Wanqian and Yun Weishan were afflicted with the bone-adhering poison. If they didn't deliver valuable intelligence within half a month, they would not receive the antidote. Yun Weishan had deliberately released the lanterns to cover for Shang Wanqian. Yun Weishan told Gong Xiu she didn't want to stay in this place and begged him to let her leave. She then recounted her story. Her father disappeared at sea and never returned, and she lit the lanterns to express her longing. Gong Xiu saw the writing on the lantern, which revealed heartfelt yearning for her father. Believing her, he offered her his handkerchief and comforted her. Their relationship seemed to grow closer. He asked her to address him as young Master Yu, as he still wasn't used to being called sword wielder. Gong Xiu asked Yun Weishan about her poisoning the night before. She explained that she merely developed a rash on her face after drinking tea at Shang Wanqian's place. It was Shang Wanqian who gave her medicine that cured it. Gong Xiu grew suspicious and took Yun Weishan back to the women's quarters to investigate further. Seeing Yun Weishan and Gong Xiu arrive together, everyone was filled with doubt. Gong Xiu quickly explained that he had matters that needed Yun Weishan's help. He then ordered the entire residence sealed off and searched thoroughly. Jin Fan found the tea leaves in Shang Wanqian's room and a bottle of medicinal powder belonging to Lady Songxi. She claimed it was for her asthma and brought from home. In reality, Yun Weishan had mixed the Kuden poison into the powder to clear suspicion from herself and Shang Wanqian. Gong Xiu ordered the powder made into a drink. Lady Songxi drank it without hesitation and soon developed a rash, confirming her as the poisoner. Though Lady Songxi repeatedly insisted she was framed, she was still expelled from the Gong residence for privately carrying medicine, as Shang Wanqian wasn't in the residence. Meanwhile, Shang Wanqian had gone to the clinic intending to find Gong Shangjue, but was stopped by Gong Yuanzheng. She declared her opposition to Gong Xiu becoming the sword wielder, believing the role should belong to Gong Shangjue. Before she could finish, Gong Shangjue appeared, and he seemed to develop a fondness for her. When Shang Wanqian returned, Gong Xiu questioned her. She explained that the tea had passed guard inspection and the medicine was something she carried personally. Gong Xiu didn't pursue it further, but asked her to hand over the remaining medicine for examination. Although temporarily safe, Yun Weishan visited Shang Wanqian in the middle of the night. The two conspired to maintain a hostile front going forward. Since their missions differed, each forming ties with Gong Xiu and Gong Shangjue respectively, who were at odds, their apparent enmity would help them operate more effectively. Shang Wanqian agreed, and began to see Yun Weishan in a new light. Gong Zishang had taken a liking to Jin Fan. She followed him to the clinic and flirted with him. Jin Fan smelled a strong medicinal scent and followed it with Gong Zishang to the backyard, where they found staff burning the wrong medicinal herbs. He found a bag marked with the character Ling and brought it back to show Gong Xiu. Gong Xiu suspected someone had replaced the Baiji gold herb tea used by his father and brother, but as he lacked medical knowledge, he needed an expert to identify it. According to Gong family rules, the death of one's father requires 3 years of mourning without marriage. However, due to recent events, it may be a while before new brides are selected from the martial world. The elders decided that the sword wielder must choose from the current candidates. Gong Shangjue, not being young himself, could also choose a bride. Gong Xiu joked that Gong Shangjue was so picky, didn't he mind picking from his leftovers? Gong Shangjue replied bluntly that he never settled, and would be satisfied with keeping Shang Wanqian. Soon after, Yun Weishan and Shang Wanqian were summoned to the sword wielder hall. It was no surprise they were chosen by Gong Xiu and Gong Shangjue. But Gong Shangjue made a request that shocked them. He wanted painters to make their portraits and send them via fast courier to verify their identities with their families. Then, Gong Shangjue voiced his dissatisfaction with Gong Xiu's appointment as sword wielder. Gong Zishang spoke up in support of Gong Ziyu, but Gong Shangjue questioned his lineage. During a confrontation between Gong Ziyu and Gong Yuanzhong, Gong Shangjue slapped both of them. Gong Ziyu, taken aback, quietly resolved to reclaim his dignity in due time. Gong Shangjue sent someone with portraits of Yun Weishan and Shang Wanqian to their hometowns for verification. This made Yun Weishan a bit anxious. She sought out Shang Wanqian to discuss countermeasures. However, Shang Wanqian was unconcerned because she was indeed Shang Wanqian, while Yun Weishan had assumed a false identity. Yun Weishan believed fleeing would be the best option, but Shang Wanqian suggested she wait. Since Wu Feng had sent her on this mission, they would surely help her resolve the issue. Yun Weishan recalled what Han Yasi had once told her. No matter the situation, she must always insist she is Yun Weishan. With that thought, she gradually calmed down. Gong Shangjue informed his younger brother that the carrier pigeon had delivered the verification results, and they should now retrieve their hidden weapons and put on a convincing act. Meanwhile, Shang Wanqian came to Yun Weishan, asking what she would do if the information turned out to be different than expected. Yun Weishan replied that she would have to accept her fate. Shang Wanqian suggested she could take her hostage to escape, but Yun Weishan felt that wouldn't work. Would the Gong family really let a Wu Feng assassin go just to protect Shang Wanqian? Shang Wanqian said the jade pendant she carried actually belonged to Gong Shangjue. Until her origins were clarified, Gong Shangjue would make sure she stayed alive. It seemed like Shang Wanqian was looking out for Yun Weishan, but upon closer thought, Yun Weishan realized that if she did as suggested, Shang Wanqian would clear herself of suspicion. It was all for her own benefit. At that moment, someone came to summon them to the Sword Wielder's Hall. Both were uneasy, especially Yun Weishan, unsure whether Han Yasi had made arrangements in advance. Gong Shangjue revealed the results. Shang Wanqian's identity checked out, but Yun Weishan's was in question. Gong Shangjue asked whether her home had been burglarized on the day she came to the Gong residence. Yun Weishan claimed a thief had indeed broken in, but since nothing valuable was stolen, they didn't report it. Gong Shangjue pressed further, saying the neighbors around the Yun household didn't recognize the person in the portrait. Yun Weishan insisted she was the eldest daughter of the Yun family from Lishi town. Perhaps someone had swapped the portraits. Seeing Gong Shangjue pressing aggressively, Gong Ziyu stepped in front of Yun Weishan to shield her. Seeing his tactic had failed, Gong Shangjue revealed the truth. A neighbor had vouched for Yun Weishan. She knew Han Yasi must have interfered somehow, and she gradually relaxed. With the identities of the two brides confirmed, Gong Ziyu suddenly called for the steward Jia from the pharmacy. Steward Jia glanced at Gong Yuanzhong and pointed him out as the one who ordered the substitution of herbs in the Baikeaqui formula, which led to the poisoning and death of the sword wielder and the young master. Gong Yuanzhong furiously denied the accusation, calling it slander. But Gong Ziyu was convinced it was true. Gong Shangjue proposed imprisoning Steward Jia for interrogation. Upon hearing this, Steward Jia immediately released a smoke bomb and fled. Although the Gong family had all taken Baikeaqui and were resistant to the poisonous smoke, Yun Weishan and Shang Wanqian fell unconscious due to poisoning. Gong Ziyu rushed to give Yun Weishan the antidote, and then pursued Steward Jia. After the smoke cleared, everyone found Steward Jia dead in the courtyard with Gong Yuanzhong's throwing dart in his body. Gong Ziyu suspected he was silenced. Gong Yuanzhong scoffed that his dart only caused temporary paralysis. Clearly, Steward Jia had taken poison he had prepared in advance. In response to Gong Ziyu's suspicion, Gong Shangjue proposed imprisoning Gong Yuanzhong to investigate the truth, but warned that he wouldn't tolerate torture. Gong Ziyu began doubting his own abilities, feeling that he was far inferior to Gong Shangjue and unworthy of the sword wielder's title. Jin Fan comforted him, while Gong Shangjue searched Steward Jia's room and found a Wu Feng assassin charm of the Mei rank. Gong Shangjue presented the charm to the elders and voiced his dissatisfaction with Gong Ziyu's succession as sword wielder, demanding that he undergo the Three Realms trial on the back mountain within a month. Elder Yu pointed out that Gong Shangjue himself had taken 3 months to pass the trial. Gong Shangjue revised the deadline. As long as Gong Ziyu passed within 3 months, he would no longer object to the succession. The elders believed it was unnecessary for the current sword wielder to take the trial, but Gong Shangjue insisted. Gong Ziyu saw it as a chance to prove himself and accepted. After Gong Ziyu left, Gong Shangjue informed the elders of a conversation he had the night before the sword wielder and the young master died. The young master told the sword wielder he had found a secret letter on Zheng Nani mentioning the supreme Gong family secret, Wuliang Liuhua. The sword wielder then sent him out to investigate. With the assassin charm found, Gong Yuanzhong was cleared of suspicion. Gong Shangjue released him from the dungeon. Gong Shangjue speculated someone had planted the Wu Feng charm in Steward Jia's room not to help Gong Yuanzhong, but to harm him. He then sent his younger brother to fetch Shang Wanqian. At the same time, Gong Ziyu arrived to fetch Yun Weishan. Shang Wanqian turned back midway, claiming she needed to retrieve a gift for Gong Shangjue. It was sealed with wax to prevent poisoning. She hinted to Yun Weishan to go back and check if anything was left behind, and Yun Weishan understood, asking Gong Ziyu if she could return briefly to check. If you love the story, subscribe for the next episode.